My name's David Dixon. I'm a photographer who's used photography to recover and maintain my mental health. When I told my story, others started to tell me theirs, and I went out to meet them. I set out with two aims for this project. The first is to work towards making it more commonplace to talk about our problems, and the second to encourage everyone to take positive steps towards helping themselves and maintaining their mental well-being. It's been an incredible journey, and I've met some truly inspiring people, and now I'm sharing their stories with you.
So my name's Andy Elwood. I've just completed my career in search and rescue as a winchman paramedic. I've been doing that since 2000 with the Air Force and then the Coast Guard. I've served out in Afghanistan as a paramedic on the rescue helicopter out there. When I was a child growing up in Northern Ireland in the Troubles, my village, very small village, had a really high suicide rate. So much so we were featured on the BBC News. And I just couldn't really get my head around that, why that was. My uncle was murdered when I was about 5 years old, and a lot of other guys in Northern Ireland would get angry and maybe fight after something like that, but I wanted to help other people, to try and change things. I guess I'm almost at the point now where I'd consider myself a mental health campaigner. There have been a few times in my life, and earlier this year, when I was reflecting on a lot of things, I had this very blinkered view, a very narrowed view of the situation I was in, and just speaking to someone and getting someone else's perspective on what your situation is or what problems you might be having just opens the whole thing up. And so instead of having blinkers on, it opens it up and you can see that there's a way out, there's a future, and that people have a very different view of you than what you maybe have yourself. It wasn't until I was a bit older that I decided my purpose in life was to help others, and I joined the ambulance service. That progressed into my main career in search and rescue, where I've been out on numerous searches for vulnerable people, and I've, from having the euphoria of saving someone's life after risking your own life in that job, it's just a feeling of despair when you arrive with someone who's ended their own life. Suicide's the #1 killer for men in the UK between the years of 18 and 49, and specifically between 45 to 49. It's because you've been through so much in your life up to that point, and that's the stage in your life where your parents are dying, your family's getting bigger, you decide you don't like your job, you need to earn more money. The figures speak for themselves. People that are bottling it up, men that are bottling it up, they're not seeking help, and they're ending their life prematurely, and so that's not the solution. Just talk to someone. If we just make it a more open environment to talk and share these things, it's not a big deal. There's so much help out there. There's so much more awareness available in 2018. It's just knowing where to find it, and speaking to someone can be a way of getting some information. And often guys are saying, yeah, someone directed me to a website, to an app, to a helpline, to someone else who could help me with the just normal issues that I'm having. And I'm not saying it doesn't take courage to speak to someone and share these feelings. It certainly does, but the more you do it, the easier it gets, and you just feel better, and you do better, and life is good again. It's just simple. It works. Yeah. I just know now that I feel better when I have a balance of certain things in my life. So when I'm getting enough sleep, when I'm eating well, when I'm exercising, I'm getting fresh air. I've got some quality time to myself for some self-care, whatever that may be. Whether it's working on my hobby, doing some mindfulness, having some exercise, just reading, but also having some time with others. So like today's ideal, this is brilliant. I've come out and met someone new, we're talking, I'm using my brain, I'm getting fresh air, I'm getting a little bit of exercise, and this is just so good, yeah. If we go and get a nice cup of coffee and something to eat afterwards, it'll just all be perfect. So I think it was Einstein said, there's two ways to live your life. You can choose to see that nothing is a miracle, or you can choose to see the miracle in everything. And that's been quite a revelation to me when I've been low this summer, really, to get out into nature and try and see the miracle in everything, and that's the majesty of nature, the beauty in it. And it just takes me away from a downward spiral of thoughts sometimes, or the same thought going through my head again and again. Plus you're getting the benefits of vitamin D outside, and some exercise, and some fresh air in your lungs, bit of movement. When the balance is out of kilter, I've found, and then you get some major life stress, whether there's someone has died, a loved one has died, a loved one seriously ill, you've got some massive upheaval in your life with moving home, or something in the work sphere is enormous. If you've got that balance with these other things in your life, I feel it's easier to deal with those major life stressors. But if your normal balance is slightly out, and you haven't got that self-care, the balance, and you're getting 2 or 3 of these major inputs in life, as we do at the age we are, in our late 40s, so much more difficult to deal with. And it's so much easier to get your head down, get in the downward spiral, and not come out of it. Get out there, and don't be afraid of failure. That's been a massive lesson for me. Go out and learn. So you either win or you learn, you don't fail. Don't be watching endless videos or reading endless books, magazines. Get out there and do it and see what you've got, and then improve from there. You'll get so much out of actually doing it. An ounce of action is worth a ton of theory. So my first campaign was It's Okay to Talk a couple of years ago, and we're building on that now, and we're focusing specifically on the men. And I'm calling out the men. We all have these feelings, we all have these emotions. Just talk about it, guys. Share it. You'll feel better, you'll do better. But every day in Movember, I'm posting daily on Twitter. I'm at Andy Elwood, but the A is a 4. You can follow me there. Search for the hashtag calling out the men. You'll see some little videos, some funny things on there, some serious things, some advice, something to think about. Please get involved.
After our conversation, Andy and I photographed him with his Project Land Rover, a machine he's brought back from the brink of a scrapyard, and that he likens to himself having a few miles on the clock and a few grey hairs, but if you spend time with it and look after it, it works. We spoke about how having a hobby like that and having something to work on can be a really positive way of looking after your mental well-being. Andy's an incredible person. He's been through and seen so much, and he's had his own struggles, but he's taken positive steps to help himself, and now he's campaigning to help others do that too. There was one thing that Andy said that made me stop in my tracks. He said that he considers, with the mental health campaign work that he's doing now, he feels like he'll save more lives than he will dangling under a helicopter. And it made me realise how important it is to share these messages and for people to hear these things, and how seemingly simple and small things can go on to save lives. Thank you for listening to Andy's story. The more you share this video, the more people will see it and hear the messages that are contained within. And if you think that's important, then please share it in every way that you can. If you feel like anything in this video has affected you in any way, there's a list of resources in the description below. And remember to look after yourself, talk about your problems, and do the things that you know make you feel good. Thanks for watching.